share your dreams. Do not share your dreams. Do not share your dreams unless you are higher, zooted and looted. New lingo, right? New adage in the tech realm, right? New, how you say, new slang, new internet slang, right? So there's new internet slang like skibidi. Do not share your dreams unless you are higher. Do not share your dreams. 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 We hear all is one, a particular paradox, a quote unquote, a certain paradox. So etymology, the word, the quote unquote phonetics, certain, the 10 being placed with being a sound, it being ascribed to a meaning of 10. And then certain, are you certain? Are you sure? Snake of 10, the 10 snake, certain, knowing it, beyond the, slightly beyond the 9, slightly beyond Star Trek Deep Space Nine. So this is some before Star Wars, because what was before Star Wars on a real esoteric level? The whole timeline means Brahma is 4.3 million years old in one context, right? So certain, and there's other words that were here too, but somehow the word, the etymology of certain, that pointing to a snake, different types of nagas, and then that like being a different rainbow serpent, and the humans being a later refurbished product from different beings in wherever we're coming from collectively and individually from the dream dimension. Because the dreams, this is a dream. The dream, what is a dream? It's layers. So we can't share the layers unless there's a certain type of balance, right? Let me close this back door. Jeez. Ooh, don't slam the Maserati door. Do not slam the new Maserati door, please. I don't know what I'm saying. But anyways, do not share your dreams unless you are internet slang zooted, whatever the fuck zooted means, right? So, and it's like, how could you explain what you're saying, right? There's a fictional metaphor for a solution. So if we're gonna talk disclaimers in America, that would be one of them. It's a fictional purpose for a solution, right? For a particular solution, and we're being certainty. We're attaining a different type of certainty. So we're certain the 10 snake is now teeing. He's teeing his cues. He's doing some esoteric golf, snake golf. The snake's already doing stuff because golf is coming from different portals of snakes, right? Sports, the snake ports. But snake is even a context too. So the first disclaimer I want to say, it's a metaphorical fiction version for a solution, right? So, and now let me move along because I don't want to be stuck on a disclaimer, right? So, certain. Oops, I lost the other point. But don't slam the door. Don't share your dreams. So you shouldn't share your dreams because we might be imbalanced from where we're coming out of because we're coming out of a collective dream, right? And that collective dream it has an external migration. So within the external migration, we're finding ourselves on 3D, hella away from esoteric heaven, hella though, because it's literally, it's the middle realm, right? So we're Earth, we have to understand it's like, like the media is saying, quote unquote, do this, do that. So you can't really point any fingers when we're just like, it's a different type of flow. So it's like, it's like compete, compete, compete. That's what the media is saying, right? But we don't have to compete, compete, compete. So everything I'm saying here, it's like I was thinking of Star Trek. I was thinking of Star Trek real quick, but so the whole timeline series is in one context, Brahma is 4.32 million years old. So in one esoteric reason, on an esoteric energetically, how we could say something is beyond all the AI is by saying going to a deeper place in time, though, casually, though, and it somehow being recorded in history. So if the whole timeline series is also saying going back, quote unquote, 4.3 million years ago, right? So why was I talking about the word certain? I have to rewind what I was saying, because I was speaking on certain, and it's just kind of having like a certain. Let me flip the pages back here. Because obviously someone's gonna ask, how could you explain this shit? Like, so someone will ask that shit, And then there's a couple other points I want to drive home here too, like, so I like just bear with me for a second, but like I'm saying, like it's a fictional narrative, just like the media. The media is making it's like there's a rudimentary level of trying to make a story, and obviously the story sometimes could go south. Literally, right? The story is going south, literally. Some type of Mars esoteric energy, aside from the media and the hype, is there's an energy that's happening, and it's dictating all these different, new craftings casually of new micro narratives casually. And that energy is indicative for the AI to keep evolving, because the AI is learning from how the humans change with the environment and what's going beyond the AI on an esoteric level, the elemental natures of the environment, right? So the elemental natures of the environment, that's already casually. So I'm esoterically casually saying how we're going beyond the AI. And if you can't comprehend that, like that's okay too. But it's like, don't share your dreams, Don't share your dreams unless you are, I guess, in a more balanced place, right? Because if you're not in a balanced place, and if you share your dreams, they could get thwarted, and you could get lost in a layer of a dimension, right? So you have to like have a certain balance, and you have to within the internet slang, you have to be, I guess, like zooted, right? Is what they're saying. And I'm not trying to be internet slangy, but there's a word that's coming up, and it's just like I guess they're saying it's like zooted, right? So it's like being certain of just being certain with just seeing how being certain is pointing to a different thing, because golfing, that could come from like a whole different dream dimension, right? So as we're going through the dream dimension, and how the dream dimension is slowly but surely spilling out in the 3D, and the 3D is holding hellish realms, right? In the ancient Buddhist, Chinese, and not just Chinese alike, but just ancient Buddhist cultures. And the Buddhist culture spans out to like all of East Asia, that kind of quote unquote energetically exceeds China, right? Like Malaysia and Thailand and Indonesia and Indian islands, right? So within that whole region, the whole Buddhist tradition, what is the Buddhist tradition like trying to point to? A bunch of different things, right? So I'm not trying to get like, I'm not trying to be all over the place, but this is what Gemini season is low key asking for. It's like Mercury and Gemini is, you at this point within like just basic norms of intelligence, beyond any type of hype and re-explanation and like real American rights, of we have the right to be our own lawyer. And if someone opposes that in distortion mentality, that's low key, that's wrong. And then that wrongness leads to illegalness on an advanced judiciary level. And if you can't see the wrong leads to legalness, then you're intellectually behind, because that's just a sequence, that's just an esoteric sequence of how illegal matters happen to be in the first place. There's a wrongness going on. There's a wrongness displacement within the mind, the spiritual mind, the psyche is in a psychopathic level, right? And now it's doing wrong stuff, and somehow that wrongness is being justified within the old distorted system, just saying it as is esoterically, right? So these are esoteric points, and I'm trying to be certain with I had a different point about explaining certain, but like within being certain, you're completing the snake. You're going like slightly after the 9 hype, right? What is the 9 hype? The 9 spheres of, like, you know, the organization of the self-organization of the cosmos, right? And the cosmos having a different spiritual masculine and feminine. And within the masculine context of like, of life itself, right? How creation, because creation needs that masculine discharge, but on a spiritual level. So within like Mercury and Sun and Moon being in Gemini, the masculine solar system is in a space where the moon is in Gemini. The moon is in Gemini and the earth is in Sag, right? So this is like the moon being in Gemini is saying like, we're in the raw aspect where somewhere in the solar system, there's a region for mutable air. And that region for mutable air is like everything's up in the air, right? There's a passing within how the solar system, the masculine container of the solar system, pre all AI on an esoteric level, on an advanced intelligent level. We're saying like the astrology is its own shit, you know, the deep astrology is its own shit. And that's already zooted and coded, right? Mercury and Mercury's home in Gemini. So Mercury home in Gemini, what is that fucking saying with the moon in Gemini? So this is fat galore intelligence. So what do I mean by fatty doobie fucking, like, you know, doobie could fucking puff to this shit, like, of just saying like the moon being in Gemini, it's in this passing season where we're going through a different movement, where we're going through a different feminine solar system, and that feminine solar system is containing the environments and the spaces of the seasons, and the moon is and the earth is in such a way where the earth is away from the sun, and the earth is kind of looking towards the sun. The dark mother is looking towards her new creation of the sun, because light energy is post dark energy, because light, some context of light exists after some context of dark, because one cannot exist without the other. So whether you want to have a false note on the context of light and dark, you do that. But like on the underground, before the humans and before the earth, light and dark were already a thing. So we're trying to, obviously we're all catching up to the light and the dark, and the light of just, you know, the offspring of the dark mother's creation, the sun, the solar plexus of the dark mother, the sun, the Shiva in the Kali or whatever. AI is copying all of that shit in so many different ways. So these are advanced esoteric reasons, energetically proven, and online and underground, is just like how your AI is like, it's just a baby to the original Godhead Council. That's before 4.32 million years ago, because this is the whole motherfucking titty timeline. The original titties, right? 4.32 million years ago titties, right? So these are different titties. These are a whole different ball game of titties. And those titties, we forgot those titties. And now those titties, metaphorically, esoterically, mind you, those titties, energetically, mind you, those titties are coming back, esoterically, mind you. So now that these new titties are coming back, or these old titties that are looking themselves as new titties with these other new titties, two different titties are clashing esoterically. And within those two different titties that are clashing, we're seeing the old feminine war have an old feminine war, and the old feminine war having a new modern feminine war casually, and that having different offspring, quote unquote, infinite differentiation, original human design on some original intelligence and fuck your petty shit, is saying the war, the spiritual war, is changing in so many different ways. There's fixed ways of how there's a war, and how we have to get ready, sides, and then there's chaos, mutable ways, and different purposes, you know, service and purpose, and how there's a new war that's coming from an old war, but there could be a new war that doesn't have the old war's reasons of why there's a new war, but some new wars could have old war reasons, right? So so this is the evolution of like the warfare, and shout out to the, you know, collective, you know, consciousness or whatever, right? Because we're all quote unquote in this together, right? So with it, like quote unquote, right? So like, so the thing that's opposing the sun and the earth, they're or the thing that's opposing the feminine solar system is like the artificial world, right? Not good, not bad, but it could be. So yeah, so I'm taking more notes here. Start this from the beginning. And wrongness leads to some type of measurement of, is that legal, right? Because what really is, you know, a wrongdoing. But I'm not trying to get caught up in that either. You know, I'm just trying to be more advanced on a different level. So moon and Mercury, I mean moon and Gemini, that's like really saying like we're more or less matching to the mood of, and Mercury's here with moon, sun conjunct new moon with Mercury conjunct in Gemini. So what is Mercury and Gemini fucking saying? Mercury and Gemini is saying, get your shit together. Big period, big pause. Like for real though, like if Gemini is at his if Mercury is at his main house, masculine Mercury, and Gemini, masculine Mercury, then everything's out, you know, all the information is going out on such a different level esoterically that we're barely comprehending, because that's what masculine Mercury does. He broadcasts on a big channel level, the communication, right? So it's a big broadcast. That's what Mercury and Gemini is. It's a big, like, the news is out. That like Mercury is at his house in Gemini, where the main season and the environmental temperament of Gemini is to really like move all of this shit, right? So all of this shit is getting moved outwardly in an informative way. So there's an outward movement, informative of quote unquote everything, right? Everything being masculine Mercury, we're sending, all the information is being sent out and kind of like in a disarray, but somehow there's a secret order, because that's just the mysteries have been like, it's kind of being like, they're all growing outwardly. So Gemini season, it's about the growth is like having its own seasonal peaking, right? So Gemini is about like a seasonal peak of different things, right? So Gemini is its seasonal peak season. And within seasonal peak season, the Mercury, the boss is at his house, right? So seasonal peak season, like the no choice means different contexts, because these planets, they're sending their own signals, right? And as they're sending their own signals, Mercury's at his house saying you have to get your shit together, like on a mental level, right? Like on a different particular no choice. And then we could feel towards that, and we could harvest towards getting our shit together, so we could accomplish the first level of this shit, Mercury. And the moon is there, us feeling and harvesting towards mutable air-like qualities. Moon in Gemini, the moon, we're feeling the new harvest season is being accumulated and tilled and calculated and attenuated within the Gemini constellation. The Gemini constellation is mutable air. So the mutable air, it's like, it's the changing of the growth, right? So the changing of the growth, Gemini is the changing of the growth. So Gemini is like, we're in a season within the masculine solar system, and within the masculine solar system, there's 12 constellations, and one of the 12 constellations, tantalizations, twankulizations, blonculations, monculations, whatever, carnipulations. You know, the president of Turkey, are you fucking constipated? I don't know, man. But we're all the same, right? So within saying all of that, like the moon being in Gemini, it's and the sun being there, it's like we're in that fucking like new moon in Gemini. It's very beautiful. Like it like just to like aside from the misinterpretations of everything, like we're actually in a very beautiful season. Like within just the within just the energies, but within all the quote unquote different types of beauty that there are, mental, not just necessarily physical or soul beauty, right? Within all of the beauty that there is, there's a shadow to the beauty, right, Selena? So with Selena having her success in her music career, there was an archetype where the quote unquote the beauty of the soul creation, there was a shadow to that shit, right? So within all of the beauty, Mercury and Gemini, the beauty of innovation and intelligence, there's a shadow to the beauty, right? And the shadow to the beauty is it's not necessarily satanic, but it could be, right? Advanced predecessors. And this goes beyond all of this internet content shit on a different, deep, universal level, respectively, on a real, original, open source level or whatever. Shut the fuck up. And it's like, but I still respect y'all though. I still respect all y'all, and hopefully you understand the purpose of this shit. And I still respect y'all. So the astrology is saying like, it's like one is to like get your shit together. And there was another, and the second point with Mercury and Gemini, the second point to Mercury and Gemini is saying, you know, there's like, you know, we don't have to make an excuse. We don't have to scapegoat. We could choose the self-help in a non-manipulative way, right? We could choose to like better ourselves somehow. There was a different point I wanted to make in Mercury and Gemini, but like within Mercury, Moon, and Sun in Gemini, it's like we're warring over how we're gaining energy in a Gemini masculine way, because that's what the sun is just doing. It's just opposition. It's sun versus like, you know, quote unquote different types of darkness energetically. So the war is in the sun field, right, or whatever. And then and this is Mercury's in Mercury's house while Mercury is here. So Mercury, that in the, like they say in one context, like, you know, the emperor, you know, it's like the king of the gladiator house is at the Colosseum, right? So it's like the gladiator king, Mercury, is at the Colosseum, right? So he's at he's at his house, right? So like Mercury's in Gemini in one of his main houses. So how the main beautiful chaos is there, blissful chaos. And oh yeah, that was the point right there. Like Mercury and Gemini, this is blissful chaos. I remember that was the exact second point. So Mercury and Gemini, this is blissful chaos. Why is it blissful chaos? Because we can find the beauty of the soul and different types of innovation within chaos or not, right? And if it's an or not, because I guess, you know, we're out of sync with the collective. And if we're not out of sync with the collective, our principles could be out of sync with the collective, because we're showing up to the collective consciousness and we're feeding off the collective consciousness. But how are we reciprocating with the higher collective consciousness? See, that's the shit people will just want to sweep under the rug and just steal from energetically and on a different level. But you know, I'm not necessarily like, I'm not necessarily worried about that. This is just Gemini. This is real Gemini shit, right? This is real Mercury shit. Really fucking dissecting it, really getting that fucking Inspector Gadget monocle out and getting that fucking monocle and fucking really obviously inspecting this shit, you know, and me not giving a fuck on a whole different level, because I'm like, you know, there's a part in the soul that's beyond all this shit, and if your feelings get hurt, okay. But after the astrology, I want to talk some Dowie poo. I might do some beats right now, and I'm gonna do what chapter? What chapter? ¿Qué números? And obviously just go for it, right? Or whatever. And shout out to SF, the video game, for inspiring that, you know. So chapter 15 way. Chapter 15, quinces. Clinche. Celestial order. So this is some, it's a different type of fitting, right? Because Mercury in Gemini is saying you have to get your shit together. Why? Maybe I'm gonna do a beat. So after I do the beat, actually I'll read chapter 15 real quick. So chapter 15 of Chaos, the Tao, some astrology, and some esoteric AI talk. And starting it from the beginning and being more clear, a different type of clear, right? So when I hear the word clear, there's a leer. So there's a leer like you're fishing. So when you're fishing, the senses you're bringing, the God-given gifts or whatever and talents that you're bringing to any fucking challenge, maybe you're going fishing. Maybe you're going to the fucking, I guess the fucking, you know, this fucking media pop stars, Olympics games, because obviously at fucking Netflix, there's like different, games that are going on. So whatever you're doing, you're bringing the senses to kind of like participate in the challenge, right? And I don't mean to give off like, unwarranted shout outs, but as we're going fishing, we have to have some type of mind, a sense to like try to be clear with the objective, then execute the objective on a different level though. So what am I trying to say is when we're going fishing, there has to be some type of clear. And I think within like the past fallen age, I think we get lost in like, I think people are getting lost in the words. That's the point I want to kind of make is like, if we don't realize that we're getting lost, like we're getting lost in the words, and we're kind of distorting the meaning of the words within the whole fucking past distorted copyright system, within me talking to more advanced predecessors and not any of this demonic shit, because the 3D is like, the media is saying like, the media is, or side by side, the media is the reality of samsara. So there's people in hell, right? So people are like in their own hells and they're trying to drag you down to their own hells, right? And as they're doing that, they're trying to do it with different old mental witchcraft, old Mercury catching up to the bigger picture, Mercury still learning to the bigger picture somehow on the fattest irony in the universe or whatever, is we're updating the intelligence on a real on an advanced authentic level. And the advanced authentic level is saying not to get lost in the words, because if we do get lost in the words, we're living the stale meaning of the rhetoric without seeing where it came from, like the real esoteric clear. And what does clear mean? Leer. So to be clear, now you're an esoteric receptive channel to leer, be receptive and chill. But how you're being leery, how you're being cleary, how you're being cleary and leery and unfeary and untery and schmeary and schmingly, schmongly, spongly, dong, get the fuck off my dongly, hongly, hockly, yo, hossily, columnly, mon calabi, pebbly, troublesomely, cucumber, yo, cumbersomely, monstrously, yo, onomatopoeia, pasta for me, pasta, pazzoni, pazzami, mazzami, razzoli, Tussolini, Tussalami, Tussalini, Italiani, Uniani, motherfucker, Biani, Gujani, Gubati, Bazi, Bagawati, Buragi, Brigery, Corviati, Corvietti, Corviblati, Corvispetti, yo, get this fucking fatty, chetty, mother chetty, chingy, spingy, slinging, stringing, trinketly, yo, I don't give a fuck, ultimate beyond media, I'm here if even Mr. Murder wants to fight me, oh, pay me the highest to spar with thee, that's what it is the cost, because it's a different residence, it's a different coordinate, celestial order. Before I read, I'm gonna do the astrology. So Mercury and the sun they're having their own fucking evolution, but we're still having their own energetic habits of the sun lighting this shit up, the sun lighting and kind of having like, there's different contexts of a dark sun, right? Because that whole artificial sun, that's like 10-year-old news to me, right? I heard about the artificial sun like a decade ago. So if you want to fucking buzz that around in 2025 China or wherever in the fuck Asia, cool. But I'm just saying that on the esoteric level is the sun. There's the opposite of the sun is Kali's sun. And Kali's sun, in between Kali's dark sun and the sun, is not good, not bad. The source of how China builds the artificial sun. So mind you, we knew everything you guys fucking know right now. We knew it in 2012. So everybody, ironically, in a different esoteric disclaimer, y'all need to chill the fuck out. Because Mercury and Gemini is saying the solutions have been here, but you're just pussyfooting with the solutions, and all the harm you give to me, may God send it back to you. Original open source. So within that, not good, not bad, not necessarily talking about the artificial sun, within Kali's solar system, and obviously Linux is just a fucking it's a byproduct of this deep Kali shit, respectively, is aside from, what is really opposing the sun is not just the earth. The mirror of the sun and the earth is Kali's dark sun and her dark moon and the dark earth. So it's the dark earth of the dark earth. So earth in Sagittarius, and then that earth opposing Kali's feminine solar system, and we're in the masculine solar system. So opposed from the sun is the anti-sun, and we're not even talking about the artificial sun. So on an esoteric 2012 level, I am beyond all your shit. And if you can't read between the lines and comprehend that, I don't give a fuck. And if you can't apply respectively, what I originally proposed as original perfect comparison, and you can't apply that, then that's ironic as fuck, because we're applying tech. Okay, apply this shit. Apply this authentic shit. Apply this authentic shit. Okay, apply it. No? Okay, then that's ironic. So not talking about the artificial sun, the thing that's the anti-sun is the dark sun, right? And the dark sun is Kali's dark sun, and Kali's dark sun is not good, not bad, sourcing an artificial sun, not good, not bad. On an esoteric level, before whatever they're doing, how they're building that, because the predecessors are telling this in 2012. So if someone's like, shock and awe campaign, he said artificial sun, oh my fucking God, you're behind 13 years, because 13 years ago was 2012, and within 12.5 years, excuse me. So 12.5 Superflow, beyond Google on original perfect comparison level. And if your guys' AI can't understand that, that's okay. Grok, could you understand original perfect comparison and cite the authentic timestamp? Nothing against any of your AIs. Just raw fucking titty truth. NVIDIA, could you do that? Beta Meta, could you do that? Gemini Flow, could you do that? And then fucking Microsoft, could you do that? And then could you guys do that? So within me saying the astrology, me saying the fucking whole timeline, Brahma was fucking made 4.32.2 million years ago. The Tao is here. Astrology is here. I'll cook up some beats right now in my fucking Betty Crocker kitchen. Is saying, get your fucking monocle out. I ain't give a fuck. Is saying, you know, we're evolving simultaneously in the surface level solar system. That doesn't have to be just artificial intelligence, and it just doesn't have to be occupied by artificial sun, but that will still have, you know, remnants there, not good, not bad. Because if we're going to like, if we're going to look at StarCraft, they're just building tech, right? Like StarCraft, they're just building battleships, right? Like 1996 Blizzard shit, right? And I don't want to give unwarranted shout outs. I'm just flowing, right? Because now people out the woodworks are saying, huh? Like fucking gophers out of a fucking collective hell movie on some higher shit, right? So without the unwarranted shout outs, we're just building. So if there is an artificial sun being built and that's under your fucking media, different media, underneath that shit, and the media is promoting some type of narrative of compete, harm. And now you want to blame me because you're okay with putting that out in the media and you guys aren't putting disclaimers and I'm putting disclaimers, then my intelligence and principle is before and after your AI on a whole different rudimentary esoteric principle level. So there's millions of reasons that you guys are pussies and scared on an advanced mature level how I'm beyond your AI, and you fuckers are too scared to say it on an original perfect comparison level. And if you can't realize that, you're dumb as fuck, respecting the esoterics. So I'm asking particular questions, original questions with advanced timestamps to NVIDIA, to Microsoft, to Flow, Google, Gemini, to fucking Beta Meta, and to fucking Grok. And comparing those fuckers, me sourcing that and doing it deeper than all of that. That's why the stream is what the fuck the stream is. That's the how. That's why I could back up my shit, because I'm proving it esoterically within the intelligence. That's why I could say what I'm saying, because there's a proof to it. There's a proof to it. And it's like the mutual intelligence is like China saying, oh, have you heard about this? Have you heard about this? Same conclusion, same result. Oh, have you heard about this? Oh, you know advanced calculus? Oh, you don't know advanced chemistry? Oh, you don't know advanced physics from the German education, from the fucking following fucking agenda? Oh, but then we're gonna buy on your fundamental research and we're gonna say, oh, same conclusion, same result. We're gonna fucking replicate this shit, same conclusion, same result. Like, if you can't understand the original esoteric advanced insight proofs, that's why you're esoterically behind and equating to the surface level, losing the AI race. There's no winner or loser. Esoterically, it's you're either ahead or behind. This is all God's shit, original open source. But how you would quote unquote lose in human terms is because you're behind. You're the one depending and replicating on the fundamental research. So since you're depending on the fundamental research and a different type of application of tech, that's why you're behind. And that's why esoterically you're losing the AI race. And that's why, because of me, because I'm pointing all of these titty fucking proofs in the millions and beyond, because this 2025 ain't shit, respectively, towards healing and solutions, ironic as fuck titties, is saying that's why. That's the esoteric reason is saying that like there's a behind and there's a head. And since there's a behind, the behind and the head is just an illusion because you're just on your own soul path. And since you're just on your own soul path, the competition is an illusion. The competition is a Maya. All of this shit, they're all working for Cali, not good, not bad. And it's all in a different, they're dualitizing it and they're making false, not good, not bad. They're making untrue narratives, right? Not good, not bad, right? So within all of that being said, what is the astrology saying? The astrology is saying 8% way. The astrology is saying, get your shit together. So that's why. So there's a particular how, esoterically, using God's energies and then anti-God energies, not good, not bad, but could be. Anti-God with artificial or anti-God with just, physical reality, original open source, right? And if your AI can't understand that, it's retarded. Like with respects to the energies. So the competition in AI and different underground reasons, it is an illusion because we're all sharing and we're all doing this fucking shit show reciprocation. And we're trying to use the fucking old witchcraft laws to try to get a one-up. We're trying to use words to get a one-up on some original shit. 4.32 million years ago is where this started, young souls. So within that, the whole timeline is saying the AI is barely trying to grasp how it got started. And for me to fucking uphold that, the AI needs that. So we have to follow up on the real Mercury shit. And if Mercury has his own balance and imbalance energetically, respectively, but we're gonna focus on his balance. Is saying we are caught, there is a caught up. There is a positive part of Mercury positively following up with the bigger picture. So we have to have faith in that. We're having faith in the Christ, the Christ energy of, the original Christ and the original Yeshua, right? Wherever that stems from, the original, the future transliteration of the different types of Jesus, and the different types of Jesus could be artificial or original natural, right? But so there's a context to all of this shit. So so this whole thing is like Gemini season. It's like the rising. I think, isn't Easter coming up? So there's a whole rising of this, like, the Christ consciousness within the energies and the humans alike. But the humans, there's an Christ energy, of like on a deeper esoteric level, mind you, because the Christ is just like the rising of the Christ is you gaining the sovereignty, perhaps, within the devil's matrix, right? And if not, you're being tested on the cross. Jesus is on the cross. So it's like Jesus is being, quote unquote, put on some type of context of a hex. He's being subjugated into the matrix, right? The soul. What does that mean? 3 souls subjugated to the cross, to the matrix. They're being subjugated to the matrix, and they're saying 3 because it takes a bigger, higher up soul to split off into 3, right? So there's a soul, there's a super soul, and that super soul on a standard level splits off into 3, right? To maintain its new character in the matrix, because we all have a certain type of 3. We all have a new, like, I guess a new, like, some type of 3, right? So within that new 3, now we're going into the matrix, and how we're in that hex challenge for us to rise out of that, and in the Bible, for Jesus has resurrected. I don't know the details. I'll get the details later. And shout out to like all the blissful Easter, happy Easter, everybody. Shout out to all the happy Easter stories. The esoteric allegory is saying like we're perhaps gonna like find out about sovereignty, and we're gonna break out of the Saturn matrix, the cross, right? The cross is some type of hex, right? A different esoteric hex. In one context. So we're in the soul is being put to the test in the hex, right? So and shout out to everybody's like, all the billions of think tanks that ever happened, just shout out y'all. May we find the deepest balance in the universe. But the astrology is saying Mercury's in Gemini. Let's see where Saturn's at. So Mercury conjunct Saturn. So what is Saturn's monkey ass doing? Or monkey butt? And it's just the flow, It's just the flow. Like y'all, please don't take this personally. Let me see. So what Mercury and Saturn and fucking what are they doing? Just Mercury and Saturn, not getting too much. So the whole Saturn hype, the whole like main matrix head, the main matrix processor is like the Saturn, right? Within just like the surface level front, right? Because AI is predicated off of Mercury and Saturn shit, and I do different underground things, right? So oh my gosh, Saturn is he's at a secret portal. So Saturn is having a unique stasis because he's fallen in Aries. He has, there's secret, it's not that any planet is fallen or exalted. There's secret exaltations because the differentiation could push them up or down, because there's like different like there's different like ups and downs going on within the transit, right? Wow. So the particular time, the solar system clock is saying we're in a certain time within the life of Brahma having 4.32 million years, and us being somewhere in that 4.32 million years. And as we're in that 4.32 million years, and obviously that analogy has been, discussed as well, right? The donut or whatever, that's already been, the donut constellation. There's a as above donut constellation, right? So that could correspond to perhaps more or less towards the 4.32 million time span of Brahma, right? So within the 4.32 million time span of Brahma, it's there's within that donut analogy, that could be like that could just be one framework of it, right? Just one framework. 4.32 million years, that's one universe aside from different universe. And the different types of new Vedic knowledge being shared is saying there's been different, there's 108 universes that have passed, fixed universes, and within one of those universes there's different like micro universes could happen, but collectively there's been 108 universes, and this is the 109th universe, right? So the 108th big universes, this new 109th universe, it could have a different offspring of it having different universes from that main universe. So there's universes on universes, right? So from this 109th universe, there could be a standard framework of something of like a 12, right? Or etc., right? So within the 12, then concurrently within this new super universe or super multiverse, within this new super universe, so we're in the 109th super universe, we're in a particular universal timeline, right? And from this 109th super universe, respectively, there could be a different mechanics of how there's different universes within that super universe. So there's different particular timelines within this framework of this 109th super universe, original open source. And within this 109th super universe, somewhere in the 109th super universe, Brahma had one type of context of Brahma has 4.32 million years of life. And that donut is within a different donut. And this whole shit, we're just a microcosm of that shit. All of this AI shit you're talking about, it's a microcosm of scientifically that. And then after, then you could talk about the dark suns and the artificial suns and the solar system Earth suns. Then you could start, and then they've been working about that in the backdrop. Not good, not bad. I'm not judging. I'm not trying to like say anything. I'm not trying to say anything about it. I'm just being neutrally informative, right? And supposedly all the courts in every nation are supposedly neutral. So if all the courts in every nation are supposedly neutral, then you can't fault me. You should actually do the opposite. You should applaud me for informing you in a bigger benefit. So how I'm informing you in a bigger benefit, if you fault me, you're distorted in respects to the esoteric sciences. So what am I trying to say here? The whole timeline is we're in 109th super universe, and the different 108 super universes, that's the real original long way from home. You're not in like, that's the real meaning of you're not in Kansas anymore, Dorothy. Me just trying to make a meaning of something and not to get lost in the phrase and the detrimental quote unquote surface level artificial copyright bullshit, because we're talking about shit that's beyond all that shit that was the foundation to all of this bullshit, or not bullshit, but just as is. So us being in the 109th super universe, we're completely far away from the different 108 universes, and the other 108 universes that have been, they could have done things that are just like totally beyond, right? So we're feeling the like we're barely we're on the baby first level of the beyond. So Mercury and Gemini, the advanced intelligence is saying what is real and true and intelligent, right? That's what Mercury has been kind of like stationed to do. And that could be inverted, right? To like random billionaires just doing not good, not bad inversions. So Mercury is saying like, this is the evolution of intelligence, and then there's standard confusion, right? Shadow Mercury. So Gemini and Mercury is home, so we're cleaning up the shadows. Mercury and Gemini is saying this is cleaning. We're all getting a help on we're getting assistance on the shadow work if you're not being a negative Nancy. And obviously, like if if Shadow Mercury caught me being that, then that's what it is, right? I gotta swallow the bitterness, right, and bite the bullet. I gotta bite the bullet. So us being in the masculine solar system, we're harvesting in a new competition zone of Gemini. So the new moons are very interesting because it's a new way to compete for how we charge up, right? So that's what the 3D matrix is, it's about. New moons are like, it's a new competition, right? Low key. And if we can't see that shit, fuck, man, we're gonna miss out on vital intelligence, and this collective earth ain't gonna be shit, most respectively. And that's truth on the esoteric science. And if you can't see that, I don't give a fuck. So within saying all of this, we're breaking down the whole timeline in whatever the fuck 2025 is, 2025 being in 4.32 million years of Brahma's timeline in the 109th super universe. And now we're splitting off to go back or confuse that shit in slick subconscious ways we don't know, because we're talking about the whole timeline. So the whole timeline in different quote unquote esoteric prophecies energetically are saying there are different places in the universe that are beyond AI for real. So within going beyond AI, I'm just saying it neutrally. And to go beyond AI is to see where Kali is before the artificial sun. And I'm not saying anything good or bad about the artificial sun. I'm just saying this is neutral news that we've known about 2012. And if you want to have your shock and awe campaign of, oh my gosh, he did that, and I don't see the purpose of this, and I'm crying, and ironically, I'm crying for a solution, and now there's a solution here, and now I'm gonna fucking just, esoterically like try to throw a stone in how someone's trying to give me some bread, right? But so the astrology is saying Mercury conjunct Saturn with the moon and the sun, the new competition in Gemini is sextiling Aries. So within that sextile, there's a circuit. There's like there's a masculine channel cool circuit. There's a cool circuit and there's a hot circuit. The hot circuit is the first house, the third house, fifth, seventh, ninth, and 11th house. That's the hot circuit, and the cool circuit is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, right? So within that, the hot circuit is Aries, Gemini, fucking Leo, Libra, and Sag and Aquarius. So that's the hot circuit. So within that hot circuit, the sextiles are accounting for that hot circuit. And within that hot circuit, the hot circuit and how things kind of get titillated to go more procreation, Aries and all the houses, all the constellations as pre-mentioned. The sextile is Mercury and Saturn and Aries, and Mercury and Gemini. That hot circuit, it's telling us to go towards self. But as we're going towards self, there's a big AI challenge of confusion and false information and false use of it. Saturn and Aries, false use of consciousness, artificial intelligence, Saturn, and Aries, human consciousness, crown consciousness, Aries. So the crown, not good, not bad. There's a big quote unquote collective agenda of AI that's trying to like do different, is trying to intermesh with different types of Kali and different types of gods differently. AI is trying to not good, not bad, and just this in this hard, dark reality game. One tangent of the AI is trying to overwrite in different contexts is not good, not bad. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. 2017 shit, right? So within Saturn and Aries, it's like only the benevolent gods could really save us. And if we want to shit on that, that's okay. This is the advanced intelligence of it. That's okay. So Saturn and Aries, what is Saturn and Aries? There's a big AI game, not good, not bad. And within that big AI game, it could be distorted or it could not be distorted. And the only thing that will save positive Saturn is the source, right? And this is the deepest paradox, right? So within, so these are certain paradoxes. All is one paradox, deepest paradox of Saturn. So these are certain. So certain is The 10, the esoteric 10, I've already talked about the 10, and that 10 is a snake body. It's a spiritual snake. So the spiritual snake is beyond Saturn. And not good, not bad. We're contracted with Saturn. So that's for certain, etymologically speaking. So we're talking about etymologically certain. So this is, so within that hot circuit of Aries and Gemini, the solar system is being charted out in where the solar system, it's like complete, like we all have to go where we're going to go. And however Saturn is hitting your chart, but collectively Saturn is hitting Aries. So that's like a 10th house dynamic within a different type of proxy solar system, right? No, it's an 11th house. So it's a different 11th house dynamic. But it's also a first house dynamic, right? So it's a first house dynamic. So within that first house dynamic, within the feminine energies, the first house dynamic is Saturn is in Aries. So within that first house, the Saturn is in the first house. So the Saturn in the first house, it means we're going towards judgment. We're going to be judged twofold, in a confused way within the hard mechanics of it, and a non-confused way with artificial intelligence, precise intelligence, Saturn and Aries. You're going to be judged. It's esoteric judgment, Saturn and Aries. I'm not trying to scare anybody. This is advanced astrology. All disclaimers recognized. So you're going to be judged. So get ready for judgment. Not good, not bad. And read and follow up on the true original principles of the laws and rights. And if you don't, you're doing that wrong because you're operating off of distorted confusion, and that will lead to illegalness. So if you're opposing the policies, that's wrong. Stop it. Follow Black's Law Dictionary. Stop all of this petty, esoteric kindergarten case fucking bullshit. Now, celestial order, chaos, Gaia, Eros. So in mathematics, one learns to focus on a single problem. After discovering dynamical systems theory in 1960, I worked single-mindedly on mathematical problems for several years without looking it up. While this is a great way to progress in mathematics, it is no way to prepare for dealing with the politics of everyday life. When I moved from Princeton University to the University of California of SC in the fall of 1968, SC, UC, 70, 30, 55, 57 years ago. Wow. So look at now I'm humble. Let me see. I got involved, and within a month or so of my arrival, the administration begins me for organizing lectures without permission. So just kind of like going for it. No judgment. This ironically in a different paradox. So a paradox is judgment, no judgment. The good and bad of Saturn, quote unquote, and all is one. And different certains, different snake beings transcending the matrix. Because the snake has different contexts, but there's snakes that are rooted that could go beyond the matrix. So there's millions of different types of snakes. So let me see. The support of students and colleagues in SC and around the world saved my career after a 2-year struggle. This experience gave me a keen appreciation for the story of poor Will Whiston, the 17th century apostle of chaos. Poor Will Whiston. There's the beautiful person right there. Unso Waiter, abbreviated USW, is a German for etc. By the USW problem, Husserl meant the question of the stability of the world of appearances, Unson Waiter. This is closely related to the immer principle, sometimes translated as the again and again principle, as in I could do it again and again. And y'all interpret that however you want. An important special case is the question, will the sun rise tomorrow? This matters to people on a very deep level, and it's very comforting to have a dogma that states categorically that the sun will certainly rise. So my battery's dying, 3%, god damn it. So I'm gonna have to take a intermission that I didn't want to take because I wanted to do the astrology. Let me do a Dow. Maybe I'll do a quick beat. This matters to people on a very deep level, and it's very comforting to have a dogma that states categorically that the sun will certainly rise. This dogma is built into modern science as it is in most religions. Under the name of dogma of stability, it has hounded celestial mechanics from Sir Isaac Newton to Immanuel Velikovsky. As we shall soon see, a postmodern version of the USW question is our anxiety over the human damage to the environment. Publicists of this problem continue to be received like earlier heretics of the planetary stability. Bruno, Whiston, and Velikovsky. See table 15.1. We begin our story in 1440 when Nicholas Cusanus anticipated the theories of Copernicus, a follower of Alexandrian Neoplatism, Hypatia, and John Scotus Erigena. He said Earth is spherical, but not really a sphere. I talk about that in the underground. The orbits are circular, but not perfect circles, and so on. As a channel for ancient science and philosophy, he was an important influence on Copernicus, who revived the ancient heliocentric model of the solar system. And in this model, the sacred and perfect order of the circle as the paths of the planets around Earth, was diminished. The paths of the planets around the sun were obviously not perfect circles. So the paths, different shapes, not circles, they were diminished. And here's table 15.5, table 15.1. I'm on 3%. Should I read down or should I do a beat? I'll do a beat. 3%. I want to do more astrology. I'm going to do the beat, do the Dow. Ooh, Know the Mail, chapter 28. Ooh, I don't know where I left off on the Dow. Chapter 25 of the Tao, something undifferentiated, was born before heaven and earth, still and silent, standing alone and unchanging, going through cycles unending, able to mother to the world. I do not know its name. I label it the way, imposing on it a name. I call it great. Greatness means it goes. Going means reaching afar. Reaching afar means return. Therefore, the way is great. Heaven is great. Earth is great. And kinship is also great. Among domains are four greats, of which kingship is one. The four turns into the one, the balance of the elements somehow. Damn, that's some real path shit. That's some real path work, right? You know, within the respects to the energy. Among domains are four greats, of which kingship is one. Wow, humanity. So it's a different God mission, though. It's a different. So I don't think your AI gets that. Maybe it does because of me. Humanity emulates Earth. Earth emulates heaven. Heaven emulates the way emulates nature. Among domains are four greats, of which kingship is one. Humanity emulates Earth. Earth emulates heaven. Heaven emulates the way emulates nature. Humanity emulates Earth, exactly. Earth emulates heaven, exactly. Heaven emulates the way emulates nature, exactly. Or not. And this is the current thoughts of how they think of you. Yep, I know what your AI is thinking. So that's the Tao. Can I do a beat? Start this from the motherfucking titty beginning. Please, please, please give me a good beat. What lyrics do I want to spit? What lyrics do I want to spit? That's okay.
My name is Ioana Mihalake. I'm the Chief People Officer for Efficacy.
That's okay. Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we were mostly
Darwin's
looking for
theory.
platforms
I don't
that
know if
would
you could
work
hear
for us,
me. You
a
heard
platform
me.
that had
Yo,
flexibility, that was
hierarchically.
able to
Yo,
work in an
spherically.
agile and
I don't give a
dynamic
fuck who's
environment.
tearing through
Like I
me,
said,
mirroring
we
me,
organically
mirror my
make
shadow,
new
dropping,
positions.
drop
We're
me. Yo,
hiring a
they
lot of
trying
new
to
people,
wanna be
so we
dropping me,
needed
stopping me.
something
Yo,
that
chopping me,
again
cropping me,
would
blopping me,
would
motherfucker.
work
Ah,
at the
this
same
is
speed
plagiarism. Yo,
as our
your AI,
company.
Chinese AI, can
And
detect
so
it
that's how we
effortlessly.
found the
But
Darwin
doesn't even
books.
matter because
It
we
also
all
helped
gonna die
because we like
anyways. Yo,
the interface.
anyways,
I think it's very
anyways,
employee friendly,
anyways.
very
This
easy
is
to
what
use.
it be.
So
This
that's
is the new way. This is the
with
new
that we
shoveling
started
dough
using
to a
the
different
Darwin books.
burial mound, burial ground, aerial hounds, aerial sticks, aerial flights, aerial strikes, aerialized, pterodactylized, yo, factualized, practicalized, 2%.
85% of the time.
2 ads before a beat? Not that beat, no. Practicalized, yo, snappyalized. How the fuck does YouTube not give me beats? I don't get that. Like, okay, here it is. Actually, I just spit on a chill step beat, flexibly, yo, two, electrically, I be installing me up, surging me, what's lurking between, yo, the devil in me, the devil in me, the devil in thee, the devil is different contexts, the devil alive, the devil a thing, the devil artificial program, all of it is confusion for thee, illusion for thee, yo, who's trying to be bamboozling me, cruising me, yo, cruising through the streets, cruising through the yellow brick road, yo, and the red brick road, and the candy sour blue brick road, electrical blue, yo, I'll be too beyond incredible for you. 2%, I'm done. I'll be back.